All right, now, so let's go ahead and try and validate the inputs right here in this form, because we cannot simply let the user, for example, like enter some kind of date, like enter some kind of time, and leave the inputs empty right there and click on book like that. If he simply did this, as you can see, an error will be triggered because he left the first name input empty, and this cannot be null in the database. He has to enter some kind of first name, but let's see that he's a curious user and he tries to test something like this. You should actually prevent him and validate the inputs. If he left any one of the inputs empty, we should actually tell him to enter the data inside this input. All right, so how are we gonna do this? Let's go to our function right here, which is the book tables function, and I want to go right at the top, and I want to go request like that, and I want to go right here, validate, and I want to open up some kind of array, and now we can validate for the inputs that we have. So I'm just going to validate for the first name right there, and yeah, I want to go ahead and I want to go, this will be required like that, and it's going to be like maximum of 40 characters, for example. All right, we can copy this and paste multiple times. So I'm going to validate also the last name input, and this will be required maximum 40 40 characters. And right after this we have the date. I'm just going to keep this so it will be required. That's all. And right after this we have the time and the phone and the message. So this will be time only, we're going to keep it required. All right, so right after this we have the phone, and this will be required. It will also be maximum of 40. And I want to copy this and paste, and this will simply be message like that, and this will just be required. All right, so if I save this right now, all right, so what's going on? Yeah, we forgot semicolon right there. So let's refresh this. Let's, for example, like enter the date right here, enter the time, enter the phone, and let's leave everything else. If we click book right there, let's see if it's going to display any error or not. All right, so it's not going to display any error, but it's going to go to the same page like that, and that's of course because we validated this right now. And if you look right there at booking the tables, if you refresh this, you're not going to see any inserted data. It does not simply insert right here, which is great. But we want to let the user that he actually left some inputs empty. All right, so to do this, we want to go to the view right there. Well, actually, let me go to the auth view, and if we go to the auth folder, if we go to login, you will see that we will have these error messages right here that we can copy and we can simply use in our own home right there. All right, so if we go to the part for the form, well, we go down, here we go. We need to go ahead right under this div and paste this like that. All right, now let's try this out for a second. Let's save this. Actually, I want this to be first name. All right, so save this. Let's now go ahead and let's see if this message is going to be triggered or not. So there is the phone, there is the time, there is the date. If we simply click book like that. All right, so it's not showing up, and I actually anticipated that it will not show up. So if we got this, for example, and if we paste it right there inside the input, we save this like that. All right, so I want to go ahead and I want to, for example, like enter something here and enter something here, here and here for the phone number. If we go to the message, if we simply copy this and paste, click book. All right, so it's gonna show. Is it gonna show up? No, it's not gonna show up. All right, you know, that's totally fine. That's not gonna show up. No. Let's see right there. Error and error right there. If we simply try to cut this and paste it right there and save. Let's see if it's gonna affect the design or not. All right, so it's not gonna affect the design. So if we try right now, all right, so it's still not gonna show up, so just give me a second. All right, so I possibly found a code, you know, that works. So if you Google something like error message not showing Laravel, something like this, and open up this Stack Overflow code, you know, go right here, add this part and copy this code right there. And now what we have to do is simply change the first name right here to our input name, and that will actually solve the problem. All right, so let me show you how I did this. Well, basically, first of all, we do not need this code right here. Just go ahead to your form and paste this right there, so you can, you know, if you did not Google, you know, what I said, just go ahead now, pause the video and write this part right here under the input, under this div right here. All right, as you can see, now all what we need to do is just to copy this and go under every div and just paste it in and paste in the dynamic name of this input. All right, so let's now go ahead also down here and paste this. So there is the date, and let's copy this right there. Let's copy the name and paste like that. So let's copy this. All right, so there is the phone. Yeah, this is actually the name right here. Let's paste this like that. And right now we only have like the text area, so copy this, go right here and paste. And if we copy the name of this, paste it right there and right there. And now let's save this. All right. So now let's, for example, like leave the last name and the first name. And if we go something like this, and as for the message, let's copy this and paste like that. If we click book like this, it should actually display the messages right here. So as you can see, the first name field is required and the last name field is required. So yeah, this is going to be everything in this video, and in the next one we're gonna go ahead and work with the menu right there.